what does getting new clients have to do with getting married? This is Arthur Carmazzi, best-selling author and currently ranked as one of the world's top 10 thought leaders in organizational culture, and welcome to the Experts MBA. So, let me ask you a question. Okay, let's say you go into a bar and you see this like super hot girl or this super hot guy, and you go up to them and you say, hey, let's get married. Do you think they're gonna say yes? Okay? Most likely, they're not going to be saying yes. Most likely, they're going to look at you and it's kind of like, who is this person? Okay, because, that's kind of a little weird, right? And it's the same thing. You go up to a client, you don't say, hey, let me do some consulting work for you because we're awesome. Okay, unless, of course, they already know you're awesome. Maybe somebody recommended you, or maybe you've already done some work for them. But what if it's a cold client? What if you've never seen them before, never met them before, and you're already approaching them to do, maybe lots of training or maybe lots of consulting or whatever it is that you want to do for these clients, okay? It is likely that you're not going to have an opportunity to get to do it. Why? Because they don't know you. They don't know what you can do. They don't know if you're cool or not. Okay? So the first thing that we want to do if we go to a girl in a bar is say, hey, let's get some coffee. Maybe, depends. Maybe it's not a bar. But whatever. Anyway, so maybe you meet her in the supermarket. It's like, hey, let's get some coffee. All right? So why do you want to get coffee? Well, because there's low risk in coffee. Right? You can just go, you can sit down, you're like, okay, whatever. And there's low risk. So you do the same thing for a client, right? You don't have to go ahead and give them big stuff. You can give them something small, something that they can get into very easily, very quickly, and inexpensively, if not free. So why do you want to do this? Well, because you want to help your client get results in advance. Help your client get results in advance, okay? So now here's a couple of the tools that we use, okay, in order to actually help clients do that, okay? So we have what we call the DC Assessment Suite. Now, all together, these can actually help to create and develop organizational culture, of course, with strategy and everything else that a consultant or trainer would help to implement, okay? But before we even get to that part, we got to show some results, right? So if you have something that's like $18, or maybe it was like less than $100 for a team of 5 people, you can say, hey, let me work with these guys. Let me just kind of give you some stuff and spend about a couple of hours and send them some videos. And or actually even just let me spend an hour with these guys and do this. So you spend the hour for free. And you spend, and you get them to spend less than $100, or maybe you go ahead and you do some of these things for them without them paying for it, because that is part of your marketing. And you go in there and let me see what I can do, and if I can actually improve communication, or I can improve the performance, or I can improve the synergy, or I can reduce conflict, or whatever the problems are, okay, within 1 hour, then, maybe we get to the next step. Okay, so that's the beginning. So we've got, for example, we've got the Colored Brain Communication Inventory, which identifies the genetic way that people process information. So this basically helps to improve communication, synergy, trust, and of course reduce conflict. We also have the EDMA, okay, which essentially measures perception gaps. You know how like sometimes you think, oh, I am such a cool guy and I'm a great leader, or you've worked with people that think they are. In reality, their subordinates think, oh my gosh, this person is like, total control freak, and they think they're doing everything right. Okay, and the thing is that oftentimes these people don't know, and so that is what the EDMA, or Emotional Drive Mirror Assessment, measures, is the perception gaps. Because most managers don't want to be total asswipes. They just want to be good leaders, but sometimes they don't know that they're not being good leaders. Okay, so we also have the Culture Evolution Assessment, which identifies the benchmark of where your culture is and how you can improve your culture. And especially if you're doing any culture work or you're doing anything related to organizational culture, this culture assessment is going to really help you to kind of get people at the benchmark and show how you are tangibly increasing their ROI, which is super cool. Okay, and of course we have Squadly, which essentially measures everything. Okay, it's a performance measurement and motivation system. So anyway, these are some of the things that we use, part of our DC assessment suite. But after you kind of get in with one of these, it could be, hey, let's see how to do performance measurement. It could be how to, close the gaps and improve leadership, because people kind of see, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was doing that. Or maybe it's like, hey, these are the things we need to do to improve our culture within this team. Remember, you don't want to go for the whole company yet because you want them to pay for it. So the next step is you ask the girl out for dinner. Okay, and so now you go to dinner. So dinner could be some training, it could be some more stuff, but now you're getting paid for it because you have showed them results in advance. Now, training is a good dinner date. Why? Because training, you get to be with some of these people, you get to be together with some of the managers in there and possibly even some of the decision makers. So that means that they extremely like your dinner, okay, or your training, and then of course that means that you get an opportunity to go to the next step. Okay, so let's have, well, whatever that is for you. Okay, and of course that means that allows you to go into a deep dive into your consulting stuff. That is of course a much higher ticket level and more implementation level stuff. So for example, our DC trainers, what they do is they go in and they literally create these systems where people can improve their organizational culture, can improve their leadership, and we even have these things where leaders are developed from within the organization with this whole system we call the leadership experience. Anyway, so we've got all these different things that we have at different levels. So here's the question: do you only have one thing that you sell, like, oh, I'm a trainer, or do you have different things that you sell at different levels? Because every level is an opportunity for you to make more money and make a bigger impact in the organization. And finally, you can say, hey, let's get married. So for example, let's say you do the deep dive, you go into the culture program, everything else, and well, now you want to maintain the sustainability. So you get after work, you got regular contract with these people. They pay you on retainer every month because you are awesome and you have made an impact in their company. So that is what we do in order to achieve bigger contracts with bigger companies. And this is why we send a lot of our DC trainers to all these different places to fulfill these things. Now, if you want to learn everything that DCI does for our marketing, for our strategies, and you want us to actually help you implement some of it, okay, you got to come to Bali and join us at the Experts MBA program. It's only a 2-day program, but at the end of 2 days, you will definitely go home with something tangible. So do check out the Experts MBA at www.experts.mba. Go figure. Experts.mba. So this is Arthur Carmazzi wishing you great success.